hot topic of the hour. President Biden announcing more student loan handouts for up to 30 million people who've seen their debt grow because of unpaid interest. This new plan would give borrowers $20,000 in loan forgiveness regardless of the income. While there's no price tag on this plan, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says it will cost tens of billions of dollars. That's your taxpayer money. Biden once again bragging about going around the Supreme Court while speaking in Madison, Wisconsin yesterday. Watch this.
Tens of millions of people's debt was literally about to get canceled. But then some of my Republican friends and elected officials and special interests sued us, and the Supreme Court blocked us. But that didn't stop us. No, I mean it sincerely. We continue to find alternatives paths to reduce student debt payments that are not challengeable.
Those darn Supreme Court justices, who do they think they are? The Wall Street Journal editorial board writes this: Biden's latest lawless student loan forgiveness. The Supreme Court last year blocked the Biden administration's $430 billion student loan write-off. But who do the justices think they are? King Joseph showed them on Monday by waving his royal scepter again and canceling debt for some 30 million borrowers. Joining me now, our Power Panel Hour, former Arkansas governor and former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee, and Steamboat Institute Blankley fellow Kaylee McGhee White. Great to see you both. Thank you so much for being here. Governor Huckabee, let's start with you. Your reaction.
Joe Biden continues to amaze me with this idea that he's going to buy off some voters that he probably already has. But the most outrageous part of this, Maria, is that he's doing it as an insult to all the people who didn't go out and buy more college than they could afford. Not everybody went to a college that was so expensive they ended up with 6 figures of debt. Some went to community college. Some people did what I did, which is work my rear end off, work 40 hours a week, and pay my own way. I was a real chump because I should have just waited till Joe showed up and he'd have paid it all off. But here's another question. What about those people who are plumbers and electricians who bought pickup trucks in order to be their work vehicle? Is he going to pay off their truck? How come? Why not? I mean, if you're going to pay off people because, they invested in their own future, then pay everybody off. The people who had to buy some storefront. This is absurd. It's an insult to the intelligence of America. And in addition to all of that, Joe is basically shaking his fist at the Supreme Court and says, I don't need no stinking Supreme Court to tell me what's constitutional. It's an outrage.
That's right. And, Kaylee, this from the guy who says it's Donald Trump that is a threat to democracy. Your reaction to all of this, and by the way, even though everything the governor said is right, it worked for Joe Biden last election, Kaylee. It's perhaps going to work again. He's buying young people.
Well, he's certainly counting on it, and we all know that the reason that he continues to flout the Supreme Court and push through these forgiveness plans is because he's seen the recent polls, Maria. He realizes that Donald Trump is gaining among young voters, which is unprecedented in recent election cycles, and the Biden campaign is panicking. And what's remarkable about this most recent forgiveness bailout is that the first round essentially stopped interest from accruing on a certain number of borrowers' loans. This one essentially tells those same borrowers that they will never have to pay that interest off. That might be nice on those mortgage interest rates that all of these Americans are now having to pay at 7-8% because of Biden's reckless spending. But of course, they're not his ideal voting bloc. The young voters who took out tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt are. And the other thing that I'll just note is that it's quite hypocritical coming from the Biden administration that in one breath, they're touting the amazing economy that they've built and all of the jobs that they've added. And yet, in the same sentence, they're also claiming that those jobs are not enough for college graduates to then pay off their student loans. Which one is it? Is the economy great? Are the jobs working? Or does everyone need help paying off their debt?
Yeah, I mean, it's are there other groups out there that he could actually go out and do this sort of thing and buy their vote? that you think he may? I mean, look, all of this spending, let's not forget what forgiving student debt is. It's just more stimulus. This is exactly what J.P. Morgan Chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon is warning about in his annual shareholders letter. He's talking about high deficit spending that may very well send interest rates soaring. He talked about all of the stimulus out there in his letter to shareholders, writing this: it is important to note that the economy is being fueled by large amounts of government deficit spending and past stimulus. This may lead to stickier inflation and higher rates than markets expect. Huge fiscal spending, the trillions needed each year for the green economy, the remilitarization of the world, and the restructuring of global trade all are inflationary. He told me the same thing back in January. He's been singing this song for a while, but I don't think Joe Biden is getting the memo. Watch this. Where does the Fed fit in, Jamie? Right now, it's pretty much priced in. We're going to get 3 rate cuts this year, possibly 2 or 3 rate cuts in 2025. Do you agree with that?
I'm a skeptic. I look at a lot of things, and forget just economic models for a second. $2 trillion of fiscal deficit, the Infrastructure and IRA Act, the green economy, the remilitarization of the world, the restructuring of trade are all inflationary. And that looks a little bit more like the 1970s to me. So I think there's a chance that people should be prepared for that inflation comes down, but then bounce around 3, maybe even bounced up a little bit, and those implied curves will change.
Governor, notice that when the president talks about the so-called success of Bidenomics, he leaves out the inflationary issues. He leaves out the fact that we go to the grocery store and it's giving us sticker shock.
Yeah, first of all, Jamie Dimon is making a lot of sense here, and it's kind of refreshing to see somebody in the highest echelons of business who are speaking in a way that the average American can understand it, and frankly, they're already feeling it. Yeah. What Joe Biden doesn't understand, he keeps talking about how many jobs have created. Yeah, there are a lot of Americans out there saying, yeah, I thank goodness that he's got all these jobs created because I'm holding down 4 of them just to try to buy bacon, bread, and butter. That's the problem for many Americans, and Joe Biden is oblivious to it.
Well, the other issue, of course, Kaylee, is the fact that you look at these jobs numbers and the majority, the bulk of jobs under Joe Biden has gone to foreign-born workers and illegals.
Well, and also, if you take a closer look at the jobs report, many of the jobs that they're saying were created are government jobs, are high-paying, white-collar jobs. Actually, the latest jobs report reported that 0 manufacturing jobs were added to the economy. That should also tell you something. And I want to point out that the student loan bailout here, you made a really good point that you were saying that it's essentially a new subsidy that's being introduced by the Biden administration. I would go one step further and say that this is actually a new welfare program that the administration is introducing here. What they are essentially saying is that you can go to college, you can take out all this debt, and the colleges can charge as much as they want for those degrees. And you will essentially get that degree for free because you will never be expected to pay any of it back. And that's how he is bribing the young American voter.
So that's unbelievable. All right, let's slip in a short break. We're just getting started this hour. A quick break and then one